Hey guys, Philosopher here, and today I have something special for us today. I am going to be showcasing Cloak and Dagger. Now, as you can see, they're not unlocked on my account. I'm not getting the characters for free or getting them early, but the devs have put Cloak and Dagger on my account in the test server and have given me permission to show you guys footage of the characters. Something that one of the devs who watches my channel had offered a little while ago to me, and I took him up on it because it seemed like people in my Discord wanted to see the characters. I don't get anything out of this. I'm doing this just for you guys. I'm also not your beta tester. I know some of you guys are suggesting that I am, and that I should be testing and looking for bugs. I don't work for Scopely. I don't do any of that. But let's get right into this. I'm going to tell you exactly what I'm going to show you. So first of all, I asked folks on my Discord, that's linked below, sort of what they wanted to see. The first thing they wanted to see was Doom Raid. So I clear the entire lane Mystic 1.1, and I use both this team. So this is the New Warriors and Adam Warlock and Silver Surfer, and then I switched to Doom and Silver Surfer because those are the two teams that it seemed like people wanted to see most. And you will get to see all of the nodes cleared. So let me just walk through that one right now. This is the first node here. You will see that we make pretty quick work of it. And these are all pre-recorded, so I'm just going to talk you through what you're seeing now. This is footage that I had played earlier and had recorded. So let's see here. All right. So one thing you're going to see right away is these, both Cloak and Dagger have one big move that throws debuffs on everyone and just totally owns the enemy. So right now you'll see some misplays in here. By the way, I probably should have just spread that ability block, but I was focused on building charges. I didn't even really select the right character. Should have been trying to kill Yo-Yo first. But this doesn't really matter. Okay. This is the preliminary stuff. What matters is these key moves. So this is the move here. So the ultimate, look at that. Look at the damage and look at those debuffs. It's pretty insane. So, that move, there's an equivalent move that Dagger has. Those are their key moves, and in Raid, they're just absolutely devastating. I will also, after this, be showing the characters in War, and I will be showing you, so we'll show them against Heroes for Hire, which is the matchup I think people care the most about, although I'll talk to you about what I saw with other matchups. And then I also will show the characters in DD4 with symbiotes, and then I also show them with Shang-Chi and SSM. So you could see, by the way, with Death Pool as a battery, there's just tons of ability energy flying around. And so their main abilities are available very quickly. So there you go. I mean, it's trivial, right? This took 2 minutes, and this was with me looking at the tooltips. And so on. Now, obviously, this is the easy node, the first node, but it is not this easy on live without Cloak and Dagger. They are amazing in raids. Super OP. I think in raids, they are, this team may actually be better than Secret Avengers. It's hard. And Secret Avengers, of course, have that synergy with Kestrel, who is so good. But I think the team is that good. You will see here with Doom a similar thing. And Doom also, I'm managing the cooldowns. Doom, can ult more often and everything else when he's paired with Deathpool. It is pretty insane here. So you'll see here now, this is with Doom as the 5th character. So, for example, if you don't have Adam Warlock, I know a lot of people ask for this specifically because they don't. I will just say that I think any combination of these characters would be good. If you don't have, Doom for some reason and you want to use Surfer and Adam Warlock, that will be fine. I'm sure that there are also going to be, people who say they have neither, and I'm sure it'll be okay, although not as optimal to use other characters in those 4th and 5th spots. I do think that some combination of Surfer, Doom, and Adam Warlock are the best choice. As you can see here, those ultimate moves where there's just tons of damage and debuffs going out are really what does it all here. And then you could see Doom is constantly, it seems like, at full energy. I mean, this node is literally done in, what is it? Less than a minute and a half. Less than a minute and a half, and it's a joke. Now, I got a little too cocky, and I'm going to show you the boss node with the Adam Warlock team, and then I'm also going to show it to you with Doom. Because with the Adam Warlock team, I didn't realize how bad the Elsas can get at the end. This is all difficulty 1. By the way, this is not base difficulty. This is Doom 1.1. And I actually had the devs open up 1.1 specifically for this test. So, this you'll see, okay, now I delete Doom. And then this is just a steamroll until, and I didn't realize this, that essentially, the Elsas at the end with all the dodges. So the new warriors, as you can see that ultimate, how insane this is. The new warriors at the end dodge a lot. That's just a big part of the survivability. And Elsa has, of course, that passive where she punishes enemies who dodge. And so just like how if you use Ghost in DD4, you had to watch out for the dodges from the Elsas there for, on Ghost. It's a similar thing here. You see there, I select Vulture because this is an attack that chains over. Very, very good. Very, very good characters, very good team. So here is where things start going south for me. You can see I'm just totally steamrolling. I get overconfident and I ignore Elsa. I'm sitting here, I'm like, oh, okay, well, who do we want to target? Oh, I guess Ghost Rider. And then I get all, focused on Squirrel Girl and I just ignore Elsa. The 2 Elsas. Bad idea. Yeah, and you'll start to see the damage coming from the Elsas, but nonetheless, I mean, it's just that's like sort of a minor splot on the records of these characters. You can just see how easy it is for me to take down. You see, look at see what the Elsas are doing there. They're just, this is now, forget difficulty 1.1. If you have been using Doom Raid and you're doing difficulty 1, or excuse me, not difficulty 1, if you're doing the regular difficulty, you're probably not used to this level of damage. This is 75% additional damage in difficulty 1. But nonetheless, this is very good. I'm not going to belabor this point. What I'll do is I'm going to take us to another video now. And this, I ended up quitting out of that one. And I go right into another video here. So this is the same node. And this is literally 2-point-something minutes long. This is like 2.5 minutes long here, where I do the same thing with Doom. People told me more than anything they wanted to see these characters in Raid. Here it is, Doom 1.1, the entire Mystic Lane. You saw the first 2 nodes. You're going to see the boss node, both with Adam Warlock and with Doom. These are the 2 teams that it seemed like people requested. And this team makes quick work of both. And this is kind of what we expected. I really think the power level is very similar to Secret Avengers. It's different because this is a better Dark Dimension team. You obviously have 2 city characters in Cloak and Dagger. More on that when we get to the Dark Dimension section of this. But it's also a more offensive-based team, right? There's all this piercing damage and massive attacks and debuffs going out. Lots of dodges and so forth. And then there is not this the level of sustain, and that's really the difference. So there's no, with Secret Avengers is different, right? There's all those deflects and heals and summons, and it's just a different type of team. This team has sustain. It's just of a different type. You see, now I know better. I know, okay, let's take out those Elsas. It goes much more smoothly when you do. It helps that what I did this time was I saved the debuffs from the ultimate on Cloak so that you have blind on the Elsas. And then there you go. I tried to select, once again, I'm selecting at the end so it chains across. And there you go. We have the Doom special. And I'm, trying my best to go after these characters. My concern there being, of course, that Squirrel Girl is going to cleanse the debuffs on the Elsas, and I mistakenly triggered her passive, and she gets the turn meter. It doesn't matter because the Elsas now get blinded, and there you go. Getting that offense down reduces the turn meter. It's just insane. Now, just to be clear, this Cloak and Dagger are G15, level 3 blue ISO, 4 red star, 7 yellow. So this is sort of the pinnacle. But I will just tell you, I raid with this team all the time without Cloak and Dagger. With instead, I'll use, let's say, this team with Adam Warlock and Ebony Maw. Not nearly as good. Okay, not nearly as good. All right, so now I'm going to go to war, and I just want to show you here, first of all, what I attacked here. So this is in the test server using the practice feature. This is the team I was practicing against. It's a huge Infinity Watch. I thought people would be interested in seeing Infinity Watch. And then, or actually, you know what? That's so funny. I don't know if I actually put that up for this video. I'm sorry. So it's actually against Heroes for Hire. I forgot. I posted the wrong image here. It's a very large 8-something Heroes for Hire team. So essentially, this was my New Warriors team. 810. This is the opponent Heroes for Hire team. Sorry, 839K. So it's a 29K punch up. And now let me go to the video and show you Heroes for Hire, because people are interested in how this works, I'm sure. Now, what I did is I threw in 2 Mystic heroes that don't have their own team. I thought Adam Warlock is going to, obviously be on his own team. So I took Silver Surfer and Ghost Rider. I'm like, they're both Mystic heroes. They're going to have some synergy there. And as you can see, they just get absolutely rolled. So what I will just say is this. I mean, this team's not going to change anything up from an Alliance War perspective. In terms of oh my God, Heroes for Hire now are countered by New Warriors, nothing like that. They just get rolled basically in the first few seconds. So you may say, well, Philosopher, you're using the wrong team and this and that. So what I did is experimented with different combos. And I will tell you the best combo that I came up with was this one, which was Doom Surfer as the 4th and 5th. This did the best. And I'm just showing you kind of how it goes. Now I went 50-50 with this one, and you can see how dicey this was. This one I think was a loss. And even that you could see almost was a much worse loss, but at least this team actually did some damage. It actually, made a dent in the heroes. And this is against Infinity Watch. So this is against that 1.1 team. Sorry about that. I'm a little bit all over the place. I tried so many battles. So here's the deal. Infinity Watch, when they're using, so Heroes for Hire got rolled no matter what. they always lost against Heroes for Hire, no matter who the fourth and the fifth were. You could put anybody, and they got rolled. That was what I found. When you used them against Infinity Watch, with like Ghost Rider plus Surfer or something like that, they still lost. This was the only team that had a chance against them. It was 50-50. It was Surfer Doom. And the one that I won was a long shot. And this is, I think, one that I barely lost. But you at least do a good amount of damage on the team, so there's that. Like, it's not you don't feel like it's a complete waste. What the thing is, with Heroes for Hire, they basically, as you saw, they got just totally destroyed in the beginning without any chance to get going. But as long as you have a chance to get going, the debuffs are great. So as long as you can file a bell down, like you can get them all blinded or whatever. I almost think I shouldn't have attacked Gamora there. I should have gone after Moondragon. You probably should just leave her up blinded. So that was a mistake, a misplay. I mean, I'm just screwing around here. This is, the devs told me, I finally got it loaded in for you, and I had very little time in the evening and later today to do it. People were asking me to showcase the 1.1 raid and DD4, and I had to wait for him to load all that up. But I think this gives you a sense of thing. The team, if you pick good fourth and fifth characters, does beat teams like Black Order. But Infinity Watch, it's sort of an uphill struggle. You need amazing fourth and fifth characters. It's sort of, like I said, like Secret Avengers. I mean, if you remember, I had a video where I was able to beat, with I think these same two characters or something similar, I was able to beat Infinity Watch with Secret Avengers, with Doom and Surfer maybe. And then similarly, I think this team, or Infinity Watch, with Secret Avengers, I was able to, in a video, beat Secret Avengers with Surfer and Infinity Watch. This ends up being a loss, in case that's not obvious. I was able to beat Infinity Watch with Secret Avengers plus Doom and Surfer, but it was super dicey. You had to be, I think it's easier on a punch down. Similarly here, it's the same sort of power level, I would say. This team is not, the three-piece is not at the power level of Infinity Watch, but if you put two of the other best characters in the game, the two best standalone characters in the game, they have a shot to beat Infinity Watch. They don't beat Heroes for Hire, but they beat pretty much everything else if you have reasonable fourth and fifths. Okay? Now, people asked me, they wanted to see these characters in Dark Dimension. So I will just tell you, it was an issue to get. I had to get the devs to open up DD4 for me in the test account, which they did. But I don't remember where I was in my live version of it, but I wasn't at City. And so what they did is they brought me to the beginning, which is not what I wanted. I told them I wanted to be at the City section, but this is the first node of DD4. And what I did is, you could see the team. I brought in SSM, Symbiote Spider-Man, Anti-Venom, Cloak, and Dagger. And this is what a lot of players are thinking about running in City, thinking about running in DD5 in the City section. And so it's basically, you could just kind of see the team in action. Now, obviously, this is Node 1. But I think it's notable that this team is, doesn't have some of the traditionally amazing characters, right, for Dark Dimension. This doesn't have percentage-based damage other than Cloak, of course, who has it. And you're seeing they manage this easily. Like, this was a very, very easy, attack. There was no challenge to it at all. I didn't find, part of it is that your stats are so high because of power creep that you end up resisting a lot of their debuffs, particularly once you have defense up. And then similarly, your debuffs, particularly from those devastating ults from Cloak and Dagger, land. I really feel like, even though the percentage-based damage is supposed to be the main thing, and I'm sure in the background it's doing things, and that was a misplay there with the blind, nonetheless, just their stats are so high that just the regular damage, look at that. That is not percentage-based damage, and it used to be in Dark Dimension that the rule was that you had to rely on percentage-based damage because our usual damage didn't make a difference. And now the power creep is so great that on the new characters, the regular damage is so significant that it matters. All right, so this gives you a sense of how this team goes. I think Symbiote, Spider-Man, and Anti-Venom are perfectly capable of keeping themselves alive. And then Cloak and Dagger actually end up doing most of the killing. And really, SSM's role is to extend debuffs, stun, and slow with his ultimate. And then Anti-Venom sort of gives buffs to the team, basically. And then Cloak and Dagger do all the killing. All right. I don't even think there's any point in continuing this. I mean, I think you guys get it, right? This is as OP as it gets. I think they're going to be very good. I don't know for sure how they're going to survive in Node 12, and I will have to do that once they're live. This was the best that I could do given the very short notice I had. I didn't want to delay getting this out to you. All right, now let me I did one other thing that I thought would be a nice touch for you guys, which was instead I ran the same node with Shang-Chi. Shang-Chi instead of Anti-Venom. And I thought that would be nice because some people have been asking me to show him off. I will do that. I just didn't want to do a Shang-Chi video on his own until I got Cloak and Dagger. I figured do it all together. And so I will, do them all in DD4 very soon. But I just thought it was simpler here. So I think, what I thought was notable when I was running this was a couple things. First of all, Shang-Chi is really no problem keeping the team, helping to keep the team alive. He also, I would just say, doesn't die himself. He's got enough sustain on his own in his own kit that his own, and that was another misplay. I forgot, I didn't look at the blind there. But, he's got enough healing in his kit and so forth that he doesn't really need to worry about this, about dying. And then the other thing I thought was interesting was his damage is so significant that even without, let's say, percentage-based damage, he was doing significant damage. You could see the damage there because of the power creep, he's got one of the highest damage stats in the game. Now, I will say, though, I don't know quite how he's going to do in Node 12 for people doing that. But I just, I've played DD4 enough, and I've used characters at roughly this power level. This is basically the same power level. So this is, I think, also they just made all the characters on the account that they ported over to me, like they were all like 7 yellow, 4 red, G15. ISO 5 blue, and so that's basically roughly, if anything, a little lower than the power level I usually run characters, because usually I'm putting a fifth red star on them, or I'm getting them to 5 red stars. So, I will just say I'm pretty familiar with the power level of the characters, and I think, Shang-Chi held up pretty well. Cloak and Dagger seemed like high performers. I won't, have a final verdict on that for purposes of a DD4 infographic until I try them out in live in City, in Node 12. But boy, they look pretty good. So I guess my verdict is this regarding this team. It reminds me a lot of a skill version of Secret Avengers. This is, going to mop up the Mystic nodes in Doomray difficulty 1.1. I assume they're going to be necessary for Doomray difficulty 2, and also for Doomray 2. And then for these two characters, in particular, Cloak and Dagger, I think they're going to be very good in Dark Dimension. I can't be sure yet, but they look just on first. This is me and DD4 Node 1. They look pretty good to me. They look pretty awesome. They're pretty carrying the other two characters. Which is really saying something. They were carrying Symbiote Spider-Man and Anti-Venom, and now they're carrying Symbiote Spider-Man and Shang-Chi. And then in War, they're very good. They're kind of where I think Secret Avengers are, where they're good. They're good enough where they're a notch below the Infinity Watches of the world, which means you're not going to be using them against Heroes for Hire. They're not going to transform the meta in that way, but they're useful enough that you're definitely going to miss the team if you don't have it leveled up. All right, guys. If you like this video, smash that like button. Subscribe to this channel. You have comments, you can put them below or go to my Discord. That's linked below as well. I'm interested in your comments. I will tell you, like I said, I don't represent Scopely in any way, and I don't get anything from them. I got this opportunity for you to see the characters. That's really all I got here. I didn't get anything out of it, so I just want to make that clear to you that I'm not beta testing, because I'm sure I'm going to get a lot of comments about their various mistakes, which are very frequent, but I take no responsibility for their screw ups. All right. Hope you like the video.